What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Sisko and Mike Podcast. It's the last episode. You know, all good things must come to an end at some point, and it's been a hell of a journey, huh, Mike?
Hey guys, sorry. I know we're breaking these news, but things happen in people's lives. You gotta make a decision.
And you know, we'll talk about the everything that's going on a little later, but we did want to thank everybody, and we did want to answer some questions from everybody. And there was a lot of questions. Obviously, there are a lot of people telling us, and it's crazy to see a lot of the support we had, and a lot of people very, very not upset, but like sad and wishing us all these.
Or two followers.
Yeah, hey, two ain't that bad. Dog is better than one, right?
Yeah, two is better than one.
You know, so I don't know, but all right, let's start answering some questions. You guys ready? All right. First question is, all right, this is from Dodger Blues. What people probably already asked what's going on. So I'll ask, what's your favorite episode?
You want to start with me or you want to start with
Yeah,
you?
we'll start with you.
Damn, there's so many episodes to pick from, bro.
77.
I know. If I had to pick one overall episode, damn, it's hard, bro, because I don't want anybody to think that they're not this. But I'm gonna pick one. It's probably when we had fucking Melvin and Joe on the show.
Which time?
Probably the time.
He was talking to your nuts.
Probably the time he was talking to my nuts. Because I think I danced that day too, right? I think I was pretty buzzing.
Oh yeah, you were dancing.
And I was
You're
dancing. and
drunk,
shit.
fool. You weren't buzzing.
Yeah, I was drunk.
He was talking in dinosaur too, right?
No, that was the
No,
first one.
that was the
him
first one.
himself.
Yeah.
That
I think
one?
that's probably
Why that one though?
because those two fools, I don't know, they're weird in a good way. Like when they get together, their chemistry alone rubs off on everybody else, and it's like you don't know if you're being real, you don't know if you're fucking lying, you don't know if you're
You're just
being
letting
funny.
loose.
Exactly. So it's cool because I was able to do that myself. I think when I first met them, I was more like uptight, and every time I hang around with those fools, it's like, all right, just don't take anything serious. Just let it be.
You
Fool,
and one
fool.
dick, we're showing nipples.
Yeah, so I think that's the reason
we're
why.
talking about balls, we're showing our nipples. It's like,
Yeah.
fuck, yeah, it's crazy. But we also got vulnerable with him a lot.
Yeah.
We were like, they were able to bring out a side of us. Like, we usually do that to the people, right? Like, sometimes, we've had guests that come on here and they're like, damn, this is the first time I've ever talked about this. Killer Tattoos, he told us his story and he started getting emotional. There's been people, Joel got emotional too. We've had people that just come on here and get comfortable. And I think, that's dope that we're even able to get comfortable because we talked about a lot of the things that we were going. Actually, that was a vulnerable episode. We talked about some of the things our
I
insecurities.
think
as
you were
well.
drunk, fool. Fuck, it was like a 3-hour episode.
That shit was
and,
fucking long, yeah.
and we were drunk, and by that point, I was like, tears are coming. Fuck everything.
Was that your guys' longest episode?
Yeah.
Besides the live one, right?
No, the live one wasn't even that long.
It was like an hour and a half, 2
Bruce
hours.
Jingles too. That one was like 4 hours.
Oh, Bruce, yeah, but that's because we got high.
was
You got high.
So
I was
that
gonna say that's my favorite episode.
So
honestly.
that one was fucking hilarious because he was our second ever guest and shit. And for us, having him on was like, fool, we made it. That was
Yeah.
like, fool,
At the time, we were like, oh shit, Bruce
Jingles,
coming on the
dog.
show. And then
Go ahead.
and he said, y'all motherfuckers are smoking with me. or I'm not doing the show. I was like,
Yeah.
fuck it.
Did he roll it up while?
It was
Yeah,
fucking-
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
right in front?
yeah.
Damn.
It was a bowl, I think.
It got so fucking bad, fool, that at the end we were saying goodbye to the show. And I am closing it out and I go, hey guys, I'm Sisko and that's Mike. And everybody's like, what the
That
fuck?
fool was so high. Fool. He's like, all right, everybody, peace out. This is Sisko. I was like, what the fuck?
Who changed
Fool,
personas?
we were that high, fool. But it was dope because that fool, he's a professional comedian. He's been on podcasts. And for us, I think that moment, for me, it really made me be like, damn, dog, like this shit's fun. And it's like, we can actually do this. Because we did have like a lot of doubts. And looking back at our videos initially, even the intros and shit, I felt very like stiff, like, hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome. So it was weird. Sometimes when I watch them back, I'm like, fuck. And for him to be like, this has been one of the funnest podcasts. He didn't even want to leave and shit. His assistant was like, yeah, we got another engaged thing to do. So it was dope. That was fucking, that was a good one, honestly.
Hey, and he's from El Monte, so somewhere
Yeah.
I grew up in. So
Yeah. What about Saul, you've been behind the scenes for most of it. You started getting on camera now. What was your favorite episode?
The Bruce Jingles one, mainly because he talked about wrestling. But like, I feel like you guys are a Latino-based culture or podcast, but he's
been only non-Latino one.
yeah,
huh?
no, yeah.
No, we've had a couple of non-Latinos, yeah.
You guys
Oh,
have
oh,
had,
that's right. Yeah,
Yeah, we've
yeah,
had
yeah.
a-
but
quite a
he
bit.
was non-Latino, but he was still
Latino, like,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like, it was
yeah.
like,
he was
he had
he
that-
was able to relate because he grew
exactly.
up in it.
He grew up in it,
Exactly.
yeah.
It was for El Monte, right?
Yeah.
He grew up in the Monte.
Yeah.
But that's one of the things that I've fucking loved about the podcast is like it opens up your eyes and your world to different people and their experiences, and you come to realize like it doesn't matter where they're from. You know, not in the beginning we had a lot of SGV guests, right? Initially, and then after that we just start branching out. We have people from other fucking states, other fucking countries. So you start realizing that, dog, like no matter what's going on in the world and all the bullshit that's happening, we can literally sit down, laugh, cry, and have a conversation that we can all relate to in some way and shit. You know what I'm saying? So that's been dope for me to experience. And you came on board. I don't know if you watched before, but
Oh, I was
What's-
always watching.
I
I watched from the first episode.
what's been your favorite?
Oh, man, I like a lot of them, bro. I used to tune in a lot. I would actually, I wouldn't watch. I would listen because I was always driving. I think the first episode I was on is my favorite. Nah, my favorite is gonna be probably I really enjoyed the AJ one.
AJ Barrett.
That-
Which
that
one?
one
The first one?
The first one. That one for me, you know, just seeing how you and Mike kind of like were really vulnerable and shit. I was like, shit, like, because it resonated with me a lot of stuff that I experienced too. But I mean, I liked a lot of them, bro. The Jay Valentino one, you know, with Joel and Melvin. I'm telling you, bro, I watched almost every single one.
Yeah.
Or listen to them, and I'm driving. I'm fucking like these fools are fucking se pasan de verga, güey. Neta. You know, but yeah, man, it's fun, bro. I enjoy it. Like for me, it's therapeutic coming on and talking shit, shooting the shit with the homies.
Yeah. I think you're right. I think I have like I was really thinking about it when I saw the question. There was a couple that have meant different things to me, you know? And they're my favorite. I can say like I have a couple favorites. But I think that moment alone, like it some way brought closure
Yeah.
to a lot of the things I was feeling, you
That's
know?
kind of how I felt too.
Yeah,
when I
with
saw
with
it.
AJ, like it brought closure to me in a way. And even after, like you guys know that I'm like very analytical and I'm always thinking and shit. And Saul told me the best thing ever. He's like, fool, like don't overthink it. Take it for what it is and what did it do for you? If it made you feel some type of way, just feel it, you know? And I think that's what that episode with AJ did. And honestly, I look back and I'm like, fuck, man, I wish that episode happened a little bit later when we had better like cameras, when we had better audio, and you know, like everything was just better. I think it would have meant a lot more because when I look back at it right now, that whole scene, we didn't even have camera switching, right? Like that. So half the time that AJ's talking, the camera's on you the whole fucking time. So like, and then your mic is falling and shit. You're over here fixing your mic, and AJ's over here talking, and you're just
Oh,
staring
that's when
at
it
him.
hit, huh?
Yeah.
When you were
So-
fixing your mic, and then he's like,
He's like, hey,
Yeah.
it was something
So
like
that whole interaction, like, I really wish that we would have had that like capabilities to look back on it.
But look at how fluent it was, how
Yeah.
natural it was. Like
Organic.
we weren't expecting him to do a read. We weren't expecting Mike's mic to fuck up. Like it happened. Maybe it triggered something.
Yeah. The whole fact that we've been able to connect with someone because like before, like we had heard about spiritual mediums, right? And things like that. Like I used to watch Montel and fucking Sylvia Brown and all that. But just like the podcast forcing us to reach out to people and to connect. Like I never thought we were gonna get him when I started seeing his qualifications, right? And all it took was an email and it was like, oh shit. Like he's down, you know, like that was crazy.
Yeah.
You know, so just being able to connect with people, it's been dope. And what were you gonna say something?
No, I'm saying, and his birthday's coming up too, huh?
Yeah,
Oh, so
yeah, this month actually in April.
Huh?
So
is it the same day as mine?
no, I think it's a couple of days before.
Oh,
So you guys ready to move on to the next question?
let's go.
All right. So this one's a little throwback, dog. This is gonna bring out some nostalgic. What made you start this podcast?
Two fools being fools.
You want to take this one, Mike?
I guess this is just for me and you then, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's a little bit for everybody because
Wait.
everybody has their start.
Well, when I seen you guys start, you guys were doing a lot of little skits.
we
Yeah,
did.
remember the boxing scene?
That wasn't a
Fucking-
skit for
No,
us.
you
No,
were giving
we were
content.
pissed at each other that day, fool.
Content. The Star Wars skit.
That one was funny.
Yeah, that was, we
I
probably
should have
dropped that
blown
one.
up. We were all excited for it.
You know who you should have had on that one?
Ooh.
You know who?
Yeah, we know.
Ooh.
Triple M.
Triple M.
You should
Oh,
have had him on it. He would have made the fight scenes better.
With his
would've got all the
Mandalorian
time.
hat.
Shout out to Mike.
Yeah.
maybe we could do a second episode or
Second
something.
part 2, the Fool
Hey,
Awakens
Amanda-
again.
yeah,
He's a
So-
good ass. Like I hear him like doing introductions for the wrestling promotions he does.
Don't hype him up, fool, 'cause
Yeah, that fool gets down,
You
bro.
hype, fool. You hype,
Yeah,
fool.
bro. I
You
wish I
hype,
had
fool.
that. I wish
He's
I had
cool.
that fucking
Got love
that
for Mike.
confidence.
Yeah.
It's dope.
You wanna start it?
I think I've told you. I think I said this before, but I'll say it again. I've always had a love and passion for movies and filming, and like I want to film stuff still. Like I want to do. We were watching short
Yeah.
films the other day,
We had to talk about that.
and
Do it.
I want to do short films. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Let's do it.
but I've always was behind the camera, so I've
Right.
always wondered, huh?
You want to write one? Like
No, write
Produce.
one, produce one, yeah. So, but I've always wondered what it was like to be in front of the camera. And before we even did that, me and you had talked about doing a podcast for years. It was like, dude, we should do something. And I was like, nah, who the heck wants to listen to us? Like we didn't know anything about it. So when I got the opportunity to be working with you here, we had a lot of time to say, fuck it, let's try it. And I remember we bought you bought it, I think. It was the cheapest, like Amazon. It was like thinking $100, and it was a little thing that had buttons and 2 microphone connections. I brought my laptop and we just started recording shit, and we would do it every day.
We had
would
the
fuck up.
we had the snowballs.
Yeah, the
No
snowballs,
mics.
yeah. And we were fucking up. Like we probably recorded maybe 8 or 10 little mini episodes, but before that, it took us like 100 trials to just even record those because he would start. He's like, "Hi, my name is Sisko." Fuck, I started again. Hi, my name is Sisko. Or he would do it good, and then it would get to me, and I'd be like, fuck, fool, it was good. I was like, no worries, we'll cut it. So we started going back and forth, and then eventually, fucking, this grew. I mean, this place came to be.
It's weird because we didn't even have one episode where it was just audio.
Yeah.
We never
Oh,
dropped
you guys
an
always
episode.
had. Yeah, you guys always
Oh,
had.
actually, I'm lying. I'm sorry. The first ever episode was our trial episode with the Bruiser.
Damn, that
Which
shit
was
was
so
all
cool.
bad.
And we did that shit over the phone.
Oh, that's
that was
right.
over the phone.
It was over the phone. We were able to connect the phone to the audio mixer, and that was like our
Was
trial
who?
run.
The Bruiser.
And we were talking,
So,
Bruiser.
he was
We were talking about UFC.
That's what he was doing. My type.
Boy, you want a drink?
Fucking
Muay
Thai.
My Thai. But
Muay
yeah.
Thai, dude. This was in Muay Thai again.
That's what I'm craving, dog.
And we're talking about UFC, huh? We're talking about the fight.
Yeah, we're
and
talking about the fights and toenail fungus and.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
but
that shit never aired, but
yeah, it never aired. We dropped it a little bit on
YouTube?
Instagram.
That was a pilot.
Yeah,
that was a
on
pilot.
That was the
Instagram.
pilot.
And
then
then
it was
my
on-
homies.
it was the unaired episode.
which one?
Did we ever
With the 50-50 episode?
no, the Triple M.
The Triple M. No, that one was our first ever episode.
That's the
That
first
was
episode.
okay.
That's the
And then
first
he
one.
blew up on TikTok or some shit.
Yeah. But we did have some trial runs with some of your friends. Remember
Yeah,
the guy
two
that looked
of
like Legado Siete?
Oh, yeah.
And then
No.
we it was fucking hilarious because we're like, he was like, he's not Legado Siete, he's not this. And you're like, he looked like Felipe Esparza's son. And then that fool commented, that's not my son, fool.
Yeah. And that's weird because he supposed to come in last night and that fool was there.
Yeah, he was on my pad.
They were TikTok. They were TikTok.
Oh,
FaceTime.
that fool actually, him and Carlos,
I think you guys are high right now.
I know.
Bruce Jingles.
him and Carlos actually told me like, hey, you should tell us who's like, let us do a podcast there to see how it would go. It was Polito and Neville.
Hey, you can
Right.
produce it?
Rent it out.
Yeah, I'm down.
Write up a contract. Bro.
We're part of it, just the younger generation.
Yeah.
It could be Sisko to Mike Youngins.
For real, there's Cisco out too. His name is Cisco.
Think about it.
But yeah, so that was our start, and it's funny because I don't know what led to us when we didn't even fucking drop anything to be like, hey, look. Well, it was your cameras actually that we used,
Yeah.
but then I don't know why the fuck we started making video, and then yeah, it spawned into this. And honestly, I think at first like we overreached a little bit, but I mean it did lead to connections because it was the quality and a lot of the content that was led people be like, okay, like
You know what?
We
I
wanna be
gotta
on.
say something, fool. I gotta say, I'm thankful for all the guests that came in at the beginning.
100%.
And I'm thankful for all the guests that have come since then. But to have guests that believed
Yeah.
in our shit when we didn't really have nothing,
yeah.
it was kind of like amazing. We had freaking what's his name from They caught the murderer.
Oh, that.
Oh yeah.
Yo,
Gil.
Gil Carrillo.
Kayla.
That's another one of my
You know what I'm
favorites.
saying? Like
Kayla Monterroso.
Kayla Monterroso was on the show, and now she's fucking.
AJ
blowing up.
Lizette, shout out Lizette, homegirl right there. So
What's up with the Porsche girl? I mean, I'm kidding.
Chris Reza.
Yeah, we had a
Chris
bunch of
Reza.
people that believed like that didn't come. They came before this was built, and they were like, cool, like opened up. I think one of the best compliments we received was that they were able to be themselves.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, why we were happy.
Oh.
And then now that the studio looks a little better, people always compliment us. It's like, hey, fuck, the studio looks dope. The studio's dope. And,
Yeah, you guys
and
have a
I've
nice
always
set.
said that's thanks to Cisco because he built this shit. Obviously, he has the materials and all that shit downstairs. And every time I would come on the weekend, something was
new.
up. I was
Yeah,
like, what the
something new.
fuck? So
Yeah, it's funny. I always had, hey, so design this bracket, fool. We need to hold the lights so we can move them and transfer them. And but yeah, dog. So I mean, that's the start of our journey. Yeah, together. I mean, your start was a little different. We started improving the material and the equipment, and then we're like, fool, we need someone to help us and shit. And that was your start. What was your thought when we started?
When you guys first started, I was just like, it's a podcast. It's dope. Fuck it. I'll help you guys. And then eventually it started becoming like, oh, every Sunday we're gonna shoot every Sunday. So back then we would shoot literally every
For
fucking
real,
Sunday.
dog.
It wasn't 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
and we would
like-
shoot three times on a Sunday.
Every Sunday?
3 guests on a Sunday, every Sunday.
It was hectic. We'd be here till like 7, 8 p.m. sometimes. It was dope. I met it.
But it was exhausting. It was like,
Yeah.
damn, like
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's a lot of work, man.
Huh?
A lot.
And we complain now. And we used to fucking do hardcore. Yeah.
That's not the episode.
And I mean, you watched our early stuff and you came in a little later, like, so
Yeah.
what was your thought when you started with us? Or why did you be like, hey,
I was down. I was down because I had already been on a podcast previously, with one of my buddies and shit. So I was always, hanging out with Mike or talking to Mike and, hey, fool, we got this fool coming on. Hey, fool, this. I'm like, yeah, Dick, I always listen. I always watch. Nah, you don't watch your episodes. And I'll start telling him shit. He's like, I don't even remember that shit, Dick. I was like, well, go back and watch your shit, But coming on, bro, when I came out, like, I remember from the beginning, like, I think you guys were in an office at one time. You guys just had a table, just you two guys.
it was
was
over
right
there
here.
Yeah,
behind
and you
this?
guys were just talking, like, and what it is now, like, shit, man, you guys have come a long way. It looks good. Every time that I've been here, when you guys have guests, you guys have a nice setup. So I enjoy it, bro. For me, like I said it once. It's like therapy for me. I just come and shoot the shit with the homies.
Yeah.
Eat a barbecue one day.
and we've been having that talk for years now. We're gonna throw a barbecue for the Cisco and Mike show, but maybe this summer, fucker.
Yeah, we're gonna.
Oh,
have
this
to
is the last episode.
We're gonna have a
that's
little
right.
time. All right, so you guys ready for the next question? Hey, and shout out to Jessie. She's always supporting us, always commenting on everything, and sharing her stories and making us laugh and shit. So,
Yeah. Hey, thank you.
Shout out to her. Yeah, she was actually very disappointed when she found out, but she has a question. What is the most memorable moment here? So we have our favorites moments, right? But what is the most memorable? And honestly, like, okay, I can say the AJ thing because it was memorable, but there is one fool that's fucking hilarious to me that always stands out and always makes me crack up. Well, actually, there's two. There's two of them, right? One of them is when we had the Yo Sabo and we had to play the game. Because we physically had to like get up. And the thing that always comes to mind is you going down, doing dancing reggaeton, fool. And then your face, you're like, yeah. you got into it, fool.
Breaking my heart.
That shit, fool, that shit was one of the funniest things ever, dog. So yeah, for me, that's one of the most memorable. And then when we had Lizette here, fool, when you're like, we were talking and you were so drunk and shit, and you're like, hey, you're gonna take me on the right on the porch.
Hey, fool. My bad. Lizette.
Keep breaking my.
That and
The drunk Mike came out
and the
fucking-
clip, fool, where you're trying to explain to us
Oh yeah, that math one.
about NyQuil, and you're like, well, I took my son to the store the other day,
Oh,
and I was like, you have to
he
be
started
18.
doing math
You
and
start doing
shit.
math, you're like, well, he's 6. That doesn't work out. He must be 7. So that means I'm this.
I was drunk too.
but fool, that moment, fool, I was just like, what the fuck is going on over there? Yeah, that's been one of those memorable moments and shit. What about you? So you've actually had the best angle in all this because you had the behind the scenes and you're able to catch everything. And I know there was a lot of times where you would forget to switch the cameras
'Cause
because
I'm
you're
so in
fucking
the
cracking up or you're
conversation.
so into it and shit.
Man, there's a lot. For sure, the AJ one. I know you already mentioned that, but that one was crazy. Seeing it from the side, like that one. Remember, I didn't even switch. That's why I didn't switch the camera. It was stuck
Yeah.
on mic because I was like, I literally turned around and I was like, what
Your
the hell?
mind
My
was
eyes
blown up,
open. I was
yeah.
just like listening. I was in a trance right there because that shit blew my mind. And then he was like saying stuff that pretty much nobody would know. Like I was like, does this fool have a fucking like an earpiece in and somebody's telling them Googling shit? Like that one was crazy for sure. Beyond that one was the craziest.
And I will say that I think I am a little jealous of that fool because we have a different perspective when we have the guests here of how we're going, right? But at the same time, we're taking it all in and we're in the conversation, but we're also trying to process everything. And you have a view of everything that's going on, of everything, like you have like a wide angle, I guess you can say, right? Of everything, and you get to see in real time all the emotions. For us, it's like I'm trying to like see like, okay, Mike's this, Mike's that, or guess is this, and we're trying to like kind of work it, right? Well, you feel like you have a memorable moment. What is it?
I was gonna ask Solito to do something, but
What?
I'll wait.
Okay.
But
So I've always been jealous of that. And that's something that like even when we did the, it led to opportunities, you were able to do the podcast for Leo and
oh yeah,
for his podcast. And I was here for that. And I was on the outside and I was like, damn, this is what it feels like. It's pretty dope to see it all. And then you kind of get to see like, oh, okay, I need to do
Different
this.
perspectives.
Different
Hey,
perspectives.
what's up, Leo? You want to do a second episode or what?
But anyway, what were we gonna say, fool?
I was gonna ask Solito to do something because he was fucking around with his face when he was doing this, and I was like, "Hey, fool, can you do this?" And they say, "I am Luigi."
I trimmed it, so now right now I can't, but I usually do. Or I'll put the mustache in my lip and I'll just suck on it.
What the fuck?
Ah!
Suck on
Oh,
it?
no, fuck, I was looking at the questions, but anyways, what was your memorable moment?
My memorable. Shut up, what up? Memorable moment was. I'm gonna say one of the episodes was Sonia. Sonia Balcazar. Especially when she finally let us see the movie. Because it was an emotional thing for me. Because of her story, my story, and it's the stories that are similar.
Yeah, and I don't think people saw that because we watched the movie before we did the podcast, and you actually got emotional.
I did.
You
I
sat
had to stand on the
behind.
side. I couldn't. I literally, I did the freaking face thing to hold the tears in and shit. And I got emotional because, like I said, if you guys haven't seen that movie, it's a short film, and it talks about domestic violence and family. You know I'm trying to find the right word. Dynamics, family dynamics of like parents to daughter, to marriage, to even to the kid. You know what I'm saying? So to me, that was a memorable moment because it's something that I related to in real life. So yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Pierre?
I think the one when I stand behind the scenes was the IE Spooks. When this fool started tripping.
Oh, I forgot about that shit. For
You
real.
remember you were tripping?
We had to cut that part.
We had, we,
Remember?
had, we had to edit it out.
Because you started feeling like this uneasy feeling, and you started like
Kind of like the last episode.
Remember he was like,
you were busting an Elon Musk and malfunctioning. Fool.
I remember
shit?
that. What the fuck?
you were rolling, dog.
Oh, yeah, you were
You were
here.
here for that one.
You were here.
No?
I was on the board.
Yeah, that's the day that
was on the
Pierre was
board.
on the switcher.
And we were talking, and he was like, remember we did the whole fucking
The ghost hunt.
hunt here? And then we did the episode after, right?
Yep.
So you were sitting down, and he's talking, and you're like, hold on, guys.
I just started getting angry for
And I was watching him, like, at the best angle. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? You reminded me of Michael, fool. You know, when he does the little thing, and I'm just like looking at you, but then your face, like, you were upset. And I'm like, what the fuck's wrong with this guy? And then all of a sudden he goes, hey guys, hold on. We need to pause. Pause. We need to
I was
time
getting
out.
angry at this fool.
Yeah, well, you were just in general. Fool, this fool
In general,
just,
but I was getting angry at this fool.
No. This is
That was
Even
already
though he
tough.
wasn't doing
No.
anything?
yeah.
Yeah, I was just gonna tell him, shut the fuck up, fool. Like, fuck, already stop this. And I was just like, what the fuck? Shut the fuck up. Like, why are you gonna tell him that, fool? Like, he's in the middle of the podcast. But then I was just like, man, fuck this. Well, I felt anxious, fool. I felt like overwhelming, fool. I felt mad, angry.
And that's the time that the reader was just going off on this fool. Like
It really
crazy.
was
Energy.
It was crazy, bro. It was like a good 10-minute reset. On.
Yeah.
I told him, hey, please let me get up.
And then
And
even
I
then-
literally went like this, and I in the middle of the episode, and it was like,
And then even then he's like, let's go back to recording. And he's like, I just feel like this energy.
so I had to chill for a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one, because it just made me laugh the way he was moving. Because then he started laughing. Shit. I'm like, what?
Yeah, fucking,
It was, we call him possessed Mike, right?
yeah, possessed Mike. Mike was possessed that day and shit. Okay, you guys ready to move on to the next question?
Let's go.
Is this Mike's fault?
It's always
I-
Mike's
It's always Mike's fault.
I'll answer this one. No, it is not Mike's fault. Although we have had like our issues, and we've been very open about a lot of the things on the podcast and some of the endeavors that we want to have and some of our concerns and just how hard it is to have a podcast. And I think people don't realize that it is very time consuming. Like Saul said, we used to do a lot of episodes, and even now that we take some time between episodes, it is still a lot of time, and we do have lives outside of this. And unfortunately, we're not the people that are doing this for a living. We do have our careers and our jobs and things like that and family. So yeah, it is not Mike's fault. I don't know, Mike, you want to touch on that?
Yeah, I can tell you this is not my fault. Not this time. Has there been times when we've talked about or I've said, walking away? Yeah. I mean, like Cisco says, we're human beings. We have different mentalities sometimes about the way we want the podcast to go. Also, daily lives. I got shit in my life that sometimes restrains me or keeps me from, doing a podcast every weekend like we used to. So does he. Sometimes he has to travel. The weekends he's available, I'm not available. The weekends that I'm available, he's not available. And now that we have a bigger group, it's a synchronization of all of us. So it's not just about me and him anymore. It's like everybody has to be in sync. And, sometimes that takes a toll or, something happens that you're like, I don't want to do this shit today. And it's not because of you guys, it's not because of them. It's because sometimes you're just like, fuck, I feel exhausted mentally or physically. So no, it's not my fault. So this time it's not my fault, guys.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys want to touch on anything. I don't know how you guys.
I always blame Mike. Big bag activities, everything. I blame Mike.
So you've been on this journey with us for a long time. Like, have you felt that way too, where it's like, damn, this is overwhelming and shit?
Yeah. Every Sunday, I'm like, I don't want to go. But just because I'm a homebody, bro. Like, I love being home. Anything that has me be outside of the house, like, I don't want to do. But I'll do it, And then even then, this, like, I was having a shitty morning, and now I come here and
It goes away, right?
yeah, it's gone. So you just gotta look at stuff like that and think about it like that. It's like, you guys use it to de-stress, or I know at least you
Yeah.
do. But today, it worked. It did its job.
This is a segue into the next question: is that what are you guys taking away from the podcast? For me, it's been that. Like, honestly, I feel like I've talked about this a little bit. I feel like I don't have many friends anymore. I've always been the social type of person, right? Where in high school, I had my friends, and junior high, throughout my life, I've always had friends around me. But as you get older, you start losing friendships because you start realizing that not everybody should be in your life, right? And you start picking and choosing who you want in your life. And I think that that's what this has done for me. It's not only connecting me to friends from the past, or continued our friendship and made us better friends by forcing us to communicate, because we do have a lot of behind the scenes discussions, and sometimes you can even say that we've had arguments, well, not arguments, but we've had like,
You guys throwing blows.
Yeah,
You guys put on the boxing gloves.
back and forth with things, right? But it forces us to communicate. And I think it's opened up a different level of friendship, where we're still learning how to be friends or how to talk to each other and shit. And I told him that 2 weeks ago, like, hey, fool, like, I'm still trying to learn that. And thanks for telling me that, because I'd never seen it that way. I'm so used to a certain type of friendship, Not just that, but I've developed friendships with other people. You could say Malvin, Joe, AJ, Jim, Sonia. We've made and built friendships that you can take away and be like, damn, like, so it's brought that part of it. And it's also brought a part of where my life is like you said, you came in here today, and that's what it does for me on a daily basis. I call it my therapy, because I literally sit down and I'm having a conversation, and sometimes hearing other people's perspectives or hearing your guys' stories is like, damn, like, I may have issues or I may have problems, but damn, I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one going through shit. and you learn shit. Like I've learned so much from people on just perspectives and mindsets and things like that. I feel like a lot of people have helped me grow. A lot of the guests we've had, and even you guys have helped me grow in certain ways and shit. So yeah, that's what it meant to me. Mike, why do you have that face like, oh,
Like what?
I
Mike,
don't know.
I'm fucking paying attention to you, fool. I'm looking. Um, I'm
Oh,
not gonna say that the same thing happens to me that you explained.
Yeah.
Um, when we first started doing this, I did it because, like I said, I've always wanted to be in fucking filming and whatever the fuck. And I talk a lot, so I'm a talker. I talk a lot of shit a lot of times. And I said, well, fuck it, this will be a good way to let it out,
keep talking.
keep talking, right? Which has been cool. I've enjoyed this. Um, at first, I used to think that I got the same thing that you did, but now now I see this as we get to talk about stuff in a man format, kind of, because we're all men here. And I'll be honest, I do it. I still do this because I know it means a lot to you, and because when we started, we built something that it took a long time, and I'm gonna give you the props again because you put in a lot of effort into this, and I don't want to let you down. I told you
Mhm.
that 2 weeks ago. I don't want to let you down because you're like my best friend, like my brother. For we grew up together, and I don't want to. If I could assist you, I'm gonna be down. Is there times when I feel like fuck this? Yes. I see the excitement you put into it. I see how fucking excited you get. Like even when I was around here, you rarely work. You would fucking put all the effort into this. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna let him down. And what do I get out of it? I get the fact that I'm still helping you build something that generates a lot of conversations with people on the internet. Because I see the messages, I see the conversations people have with us. And it's like, damn, like that's crazy. Like,
To be able to reach people, huh? That you don't
yeah,
even know and shit. Like,
yeah, that's crazy. Like that's cool. Like you're invoking people's emotions to speak and to say shit. So to me, that's cool.
yeah.
So that I like that. That's what I get out of it.
And I will add that I think this has also made us vulnerable in our own rights, each and every one of us. I've been able to talk about things. In the beginning, I was very direct to certain questions, and I was very like that. And Mike, you're the one that told me like, "Hey, fool, like you should start being more personable, like start sharing some of my life." And I've always struggled with that. I've always struggled with sharing my life because I've always remember, like I said, I grew up that guy that my mom was like, "Hey, if you got problems, you got to figure them out. It was our problem, and nobody should. La gente no le importa." You know what I'm saying? So for me, it was always that. But I've become vulnerable in a lot of different ways here, where I'm able to speak freely, and I'm even able to make an ass out of myself and say shit. Like who gives a fuck? Like
Yeah,
who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
It's my life. It's my opinion. It's my thought. Like I'm gonna say some stupid shit. Sometimes I'm gonna do some stupid things. Sometimes,
they're gonna
but
like it or
that's
not
but
like
that's
it.
who I am. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, and I've been able to communicate, get emotional, and even being able to talk. Like I was that kid that had public speaking problems, and like I would get super shy. I was the shy kid in the family from my cousins. I was the shy one, and I think this really took me out of that element. And it took a while, and sometimes I still feel that way. But like, I think it's opened me up in that. And I know Mike, you too. Like, there's been a lot of things I learned about you and seen from you as well, being vulnerable.
I'm always vulnerable though.
Oi!
Uh,
Anyway, what about you guys?
Wanna go first? Me? I'm gonna tap into what you were saying, like therapy. I mean, it's tough, man. I mean, we had like a discussion once, like as a man, like what do they teach you as a kid? Be a man. It's tough, like mental health for guys. I don't think it's really spoken enough. So this kind of helps. Like same thing, like just alleviate pressure. Like you said, having a shitty day, but I'm here. I'm fucking cracking up. Even if it's serious, it goes back to fucking just acting like fools and shit. This fool calling me extra, so now I gotta play extra. You know what I mean? And whatever, man. I mean, it's just an outlet for me. But I enjoy it. I have fun. I appreciate the time. I appreciate you guys inviting me and bringing me on. And again, like you said, closer friends, choose your friends and all that. Look at you want to say something.
Oh, wait,
Emotional. I just you're fidgeting like.
You think I'm gonna cry?
He's itching right
Is
now.
it?
I'll wait for you to finish.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know what I mean. Therapeutical. I, shooting the shit with the homies.
Well, even same thing with you when we had you on supposedly as a guest, and you were just able to fucking talk about your life, dog. Like, damn, like aspects of it that I hadn't been around in. You know that.
And my dad stores us in and out.
Yeah, he'd still.
just-
Anyway, what were you gonna say? Well,
I was gonna say that's how extra this fool is.
See?
That you saw how emotional he got. This fool was about to cry. He goes.
man.
I like the
man,
fact that he goes from like, damn, extra.
I wear my emotions on my
extra.
sleeve, bro.
That's cool though.
Can I
Yeah.
say?
He's a good actor.
I don't act.
What about you, so?
Let me think about it. What am I?
The Luigi
No,
thing,
honestly, I
fool.
forgot the question. What was the question again?
Fuck, I forgot what.
'Cause
What,
you
what
guys
has
what do
this
you
brought
take-
to you,
yeah.
or like what
Yeah,
is it?
what
does
do
it
you
mean
what do
to
you take out of this?
Yeah, what do you
Take
take
out?
away from this? What does it mean to you? Or what have you taken away from this?
Kind of what you said. You literally said what I was thinking about how people go through shit, and sometimes we don't talk about it, but hey, everybody got their issue, everybody got their problem, and some way somehow the sun's gonna go up and the sun's gonna go down. So you gotta wake up every day is a new day. Just keep moving forward.
Nah.
That sounds like a Diddy fucking verse.
Fucking words of
Yo,
wisdom.
the sun don't shine forever.
We're not having words of wisdom yet, dog.
Yeah.
No, but it is funny because this one, we work together. So sometimes after an episode, the next day, this was like, oh, that was a good episode. That fool fucking, or this person, damn, they're wise and shit. Or he would say shit like that, like, damn, like that really hit me, like, so it's
Yeah.
shit like that. Next question.
The sun
Go.
don't shine
All right.
forever.
Is this
Hey, I'm on a sick one today, huh?
You got a good one.
is this Cisco's fault? Are you moving to Chi-Town? It's cheaper out
Is
there
it
for
Chi-Town?
Chi-Town. It's cheaper. It's a smart business strategy,
Who said that?
Andy. So,
Fucking Andy.
am I moving to Chi-Town? No, but we are expanding, and that's what caused a lot of the traveling and a lot of the things like that. So we are expanding to other states. So that has been a thing, but it's not the reason, and it is my fault that this is happening. But we'll talk about this a little later. And ready for
Well, no
you guys
comment on
can
that.
answer
I mean,
that.
He's taking the blame.
Yeah,
I'm
take the
taking
blame.
and
Shit.
shit.
Take it.
Your
Take
fault.
shit.
Like that
Take that.
Akon song, you put the blame on me.
Yeah, let me find this.
Isn't that
other-
about a underage girl?
Now you getting all giddy over
It
here.
is.
Okay, here we go. Ready? Curious. What's the next adventure?
Short films.
We're gonna go
Well,
find
for the podcast, right?
What's the next adventure for us individually?
travel.
I'm really focused. If you guys don't know, I never really promoted this. But I'm really, really, really expanding this. My side gig. It's really growing. I do non-sports. Well, I do sports too. Non-sports, sports, and collectibles. I do have a business where I sell collectibles. That's not my main job. I work for the VA, but I sell sports, non-sports cards. It's going really well. Expanding that's probably my main focus because I want to travel nationally to different shows and establish that market. I also do live shows. If anybody likes to collect stuff, whether it's sports cards, non-sports cards like Marvel, Disney, or even collectibles such as like vintage toys, hit me up. My Instagram is at Filthy Slabs. No, filthy is not for any sexual or anything. Filthy, it was a way for me to try to get a name out there that says like sick, like badass. So hit me up at Filthy Slabs on Instagram, and you can check out some of the stuff that I collect. Also, you brought up, I've been thinking about going back to filming and taking photos because I do have my camera just sitting there collecting dust. So I want to start doing more short films. Excuse me, hopefully with the help of these guys. That way we could somehow tie it into the podcast because I have some ideas that I brought onto Cisco and hopefully that, could be incorporated both ways. That way it could help me in my personal and then with the podcast. So that's my end of it.
Yeah. I think for me, you can call it a little pivot. I think it's a time to refocus a little bit on a couple of things. Obviously, I do have some stuff coming up as far as work projects wise that's going to keep me really busy for the next month or so. And just pivoting. And I want to get back to focusing a lot on analytics on certain things that we'll talk about later, And I just don't want to say, I'll say it later when we say the reason why we're
being so mysterious.
Mike's making all kinds of faces.
So I do want to take that, and I do want to like kind of. I don't want to get too much. I'll just wait for my part at the end as far as the next endeavor, venture, and shit like that. But what about you guys? You guys got anything in the meantime? Oh, and actually, you know what? I do want to get back to taking, now that I'm gonna have a little bit of time for some bit besides work and shit. I do want to take some time to get back into consistently working out. Not just running.
I really want to do that too.
But I do want to focus on my health and my eating a little bit more too as well. So that. And yeah.
Yep.
Anyways, last question.
Filthy we trust.
In Filthy we trust.
You said it was called Kinky Slabs?
Kinky Slabs?
Filthy Slabs. FILTHY.
What's he saying? What's he saying? They call you filthy?
Hey, my name is Filthy, but my cards are clean.
There you go, dog.
What about
Tap
your
in.
Nah.
I'm promoting my business, fool.
Yeah, tap in. No, for real, tap in. He has a lot
What
of
about you?
money.
Hey, that's pretty sick. That's a pretty
Don't
sick.
you guys have a
slogan.
Hunting for Highness show?
That's coming up. That's me and you.
All right. The final one is,
Insulin bros.
what do you guys what do you guys have to say, Insulin Bros? What do you guys have to say to everybody out there?
You start.
That like words of wisdom.
Do
shit?
you
Yeah, just in general about like, I guess.
Yeah, do you?
be yourself?
Do you do
Never be
like that? That was my saying. I mean, I used to tell it to my brother, just do you. He never understood. I'm like, if it makes you happy, bro, you're not killing nobody, you're not hurt. Just do it.
Yeah.
Be happy. Life's too fucking short to be angry all the time.
You're gonna see he's about to cry again.
We get the vulnerable period.
It's just life's too short, bro. Enjoy the moment. Enjoy. The time you actually get with people and shit. Tomorrow's never fucking promised, bro.
So?
Oh, I thought we were like doing it together. That's why. I thought we were like a cohesive unit on that.
You're thinking the same thing or what?
Yeah. No, literally.
What the fuck was this?
I know.
Rubbing my nipples.
Yeah.
No, yeah, the exact same thing. I thought we were like,
Bouncing off?
yeah, bouncing off
Fuck,
each other.
you guys are getting so good that you guys read each other's thoughts. I think for me, it's like, first of all, I want to thank everybody, the support we've gotten and shit. It's been pretty dope. The relationships we've built, the people we've met. I think that's been fucking dope as fuck. And for me, it's just like if I have anything to say, it's like, I appreciate everything. And I'm thankful for everything that's happened. Yeah. Why are you smiling like that?
This was plotting over there. You be plotting. He's all,
He watched the movie Smile too. That's why.
That's been Troy McClure from Springfield.
That was very scripted. No, it's true. I just, like.
It's not that. It's that head bobbing for you. Like, we are.
It's because it is. Like, I really do feel that way. Like, I am very appreciative of everything and shit. So. Fun.
I don't know. I'm going to sick one today, fool. You know how I got possessed and I was.
It's the insulin.
turn on your increment.
I'm not on insulin, fool.
Insulin bros.
Insulin, bro.
That's a joke me and this will have.
Yeah.
Or when we go to fucking.
Every time we're driving, we're like, we're going to get something to eat. It's today on
I mean,
insulin, bros.
it's every time at 2 a.m. when this fool goes, yum, yum, fool.
Not me, dog.
Nah, shut the
Not me.
fuck up, right?
I'm going to record them next time, dog.
They're blaming each other.
Last time we
And I'm like, nah, fool.
where are we going? He's like, we're going to go to the spot. We're going to get some tortas. And then I'm like, all right, cool. And then he starts talking out of nowhere. He's like, today I'm hunting for tortas. And I'm like, wait. Like, what are
I
you
thought we were eating.
I thought we were eating, dog.
So, anyways, I'm gonna use a famous catchphrase from one of my favorite movies.
Blood in, blood out.
Blood in, blood out.
Life's a trip.
No. It's not a trip, homeboy. See, you don't know how to. Well,
Life's a risk.
Life's
Oh,
a
life's
risk,
a risk.
carnal. I'm gonna say it like that. Life's a risk. I've always lived by that, honestly. Yes, I got it from the movie. I saw the movie when I was young. And it's true, though. Life's a risk. If you're not willing to take risks to accomplish, and I'm not saying like risks are going to put you in danger, okay? Because there's different types of risks. But if you always wanted, like us, if we wouldn't have taken the risk of us actually say, fuck it, let's do it. Let's put ourselves out there because it's a risk, we wouldn't have never been here. So life's a risk. There are always going to be risks. But if you don't take calculated ones, if you don't step up, you ain't gonna do shit. Trust me. I've always lived by that. I went away from it for a while. Now I'm back to it. And another one I say is scare money, make no money. Scare money, make no money. What I mean by that is um, if you've always like I'm an entrepreneur myself. I've always been an entrepreneur. Um, if you're scared to invest in yourself and invest in something that could produce wealth, whether it's health or anything else, then scare money, make no money.
Mhm.
You ain't gonna make no money without investing. So
So that's a great way to put it into this because life is a risk, right? And
uh-huh.
we took a big ass risk by saying we're ending this. So it is time to say that, you know, it's that time. It is the end of
Bye.
this version
Farewell.
of Cisco and Mike. We are changing the studio up. So technically, this was the last episode
In this studio.
in the studio. So we are changing it up. We will come back stronger, hopefully. You know, we're building our crew. We've all, gotten comfortable. And yeah, I mean, you have anything to say? I know you're a little surprised. You don't even know what's going on, but we are changing the studio.
No, it's not that.
He still thinks it's his fault.
What did I do?
You freaking catfisher.
Yeah.
Sorry guys, this guy freaking catfished you guys and or
It's
what is it called? The clickbaited you guys. We ain't going nowhere.
no, because yeah, we're not going anywhere.
We ain't going anywhere.
But it is a pivot.
We
Uh,
ain't.
We feel like our dynamic is changing. I know I'm not fucking leaving. But it's one of those things we are pivoting to a different direction, and we do want to do a lot more. And just seeing some of the reactions and people that we've met, like we said, very supportive of a lot of things, and it's dope to see. And we just want to continue to do this. We want to continue to build what Cisco and Mike means beyond what Cisco and Mike is, And we do want our own endeavors, and we do want to branch out and do more things. And I know Mike is really focused on that, and I'm focused on building this as well. And like I said, it's a way that we're gonna redesign the studio, make it fresh, make it new, bring some new energy. And I will say this: I want to thank all you guys and Pierre, Isaac for coming on because you guys did bring a new energy, to the crew.
Apparently, all I do is cry and shit.
Well, you bring the emotional energy.
You're a good actor.
I'm just a Frenchman, apparently.
Yeah. So it is at that, and we want to bring that, and we want to continue to build, and we want to continue to grow because, like a lot of you did tell us that you guys do listen, and there is some value in some of the conversations. We do fuck around a lot, and we do things, but there has been moments where
That's what I'm talking about right there.
what?
The movement.
Because I'm looking at you because I'm saying like
I know. I love you, dog, but
yeah.
you're like a freaking newscaster.
So I want to clear that up why I do this though, because
Earphones?
because when I have to edit this shit, if I turn my head like this, the sound goes away. So I've learned from this that I have to turn into the mic like this.
Yes, I know
So
that.
maybe that's why it looks robotic, but yeah. But anyways, yeah. So that's the next adventure. We're gonna switch it up. We're gonna change the studio around, bring a new thing. Hopefully, expand it. We do want to bring more content to you guys in different ways. If you guys have anything you guys want to see, shit, let us know. Mike, you got anything?
Thumbs up. The other.
Well, first of all, you don't even know how we're gonna redesign. We got to talk about that too, and maybe we can get some help from some of the people out there too. But
if you guys are interior designers, whether you guys want to help us out, hit us up. I don't know. Maybe because make the studio look a little better.
yeah. So anything you want to add about the adventures that you're gonna take on this?
I was just gonna say thank you guys. Hope you guys continue to follow us in the reinvention or reimagine or
Second chapter?
or what is it, the
Revolution.
40s on the new 30s and 30s on the new 20s. Whatever the fuck we're doing. It is my birthday, coming on my
Yeah.
birthday. So
Well, technically, when this drops, it'll be past your birthday. But yeah.
Aries gang.
Anyways, you guys, I know Saul, you got a little bit of the vision of what's gonna happen here. So, I don't know what you feel about it, or yeah.
I'm a little excited for it. At first, I was like, "Fuck, I don't know about what you were thinking." Like, I couldn't picture it, but seeing downstairs, you guys are gonna be very excited.
Yeah.
Sure.
And you threw me off when I saw that post. That's what I was gonna say.
You're like, "Wait."
I was like, what the fuck? I was gonna text him right away. But I'm out. I want to say thanks to everyone that listens, everyone that taps in. I get a lot of like family and friends that are like, dude, like, when did you start that? Like, well, I didn't start shit. I got invited one day and I never left. And I always get feedback like everyone likes it. So hopefully, something newer.
Pierre sets up boots at fucking Barnes and Nobles, dog, and signs fucking autographs and shit.
For real.
I seen them.
I wish. What do I sign? What do I sign?
Books?
No, what do I sign?
You sign
What's my alias?
Oh,
Extra.
extra. Read all about.
But yeah, we hope you guys it won't be that long of a break because the way we're recording this episode is gonna drop like in mid-April and shit. So hopefully by that time the studio is almost complete. But yeah, we'll be back better than ever. Give us some tips if you guys know any and let us know what you guys want to see. And we're gonna continue to bring content and we're gonna do some behind the scenes. Mike's gonna get back into his photography and film production. So let's see.
We're gonna record part of the studio being
Yeah.
demolished and all
So we'll check that out. We'll start taking some pictures and start recording that, and then we'll go from there. Till then, thanks and peace out.
that. Signing off.
Hasta la